I'm Francesca Maxime.
And I'm Matt McClure, and this is Currents. No rides or games, but this fair at a Queens parish offered something more valuable: information.
We bring a lot of organizations together to provide information, not only to our own parishioners, but to the whole Astoria community.
Plus, we head into the deep to give thanks.
People try to get together as best they can to share a family meal of Thanksgiving.
And using film to spread a message of hope.
We produce pieces that have meaning to people's lives, whether you're Catholic or not.
Well, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. It may be the time of year for celebrations, with Thanksgiving and then Christmas right around the corner. Last weekend, one Queens parish held a fair, but not the kind with rides and lots of food.
No, definitely not, but it was to let people know about the community services that are available to them. Well, we headed out to Immaculate Conception Parish in Astoria to find out more.
Now it's best to reach out to the community by providing services, so I think this was, I think health fairs, it really is a great opportunity for that, so people can come, be safe, and at the same time feel safe and get the resources they need.
We're putting on a human services fair where we provide information. We bring a lot of organizations together to provide information, not only to our own parishioners, but to members of different churches and the whole Astoria community.
Advertising is not in the budget. And so this really makes a difference because local people that don't know about us find out through these type of events.
We also wanted to help the immigration community that we have in Astoria, since we have people from all over the world here in this Astoria community, and we are giving also information about immigration for all of them, and it has been helpful.
Yeah, we served people from 122 countries last year. And it's a walk-in service. So if you have a question, there's no charge. You come in, and you can ask any kind of question that you have regarding immigration. And if we can help you, we will make sure you're directed to someone who can.
There are all different types of services that any community could use, and we wanted to provide it here. Also, we wanted to do it as part of our mission as a Christian church, and also to engage with Catholic Charities to do that because it fulfills part of their mission as well.
Social services and health screening coming together in one place for the benefit of the community, Astoria, and also the vicinity.
I think the fingerprinting has been very crowded. FDNY seems to have attracted a lot of people. I'm sitting next to Sunnyside Community Services. Lots of people go over there. And I'm providing information on civil service jobs.
Today there's had to be 200 to 300 people, no problem. And that's very nice that we have that kind of a crowd.
The event has been successful. We've not only gotten a big surge after every Mass, but we've also gotten people in between, which suggests to me that our outreach to the community was pretty successful because people come in at different times. It's not just totally empty between Masses, which is what you would see if it were just our church, just our parish. But it goes well beyond that. And that's for us, that's a big success.
Happy little girls there.
Ending with the hug. I like it.
Love it. And a lot of course, reaching outside the parish there in Astoria as well. Well, stay tuned. There's much more Currents coming up.
Indeed. Conan's priest and Oprah's nuns are both back in the news. We'll have those stories and the rest of the day's headlines straight ahead.
Welcome back to Currents. I'm Matt McClure.
And I'm Francesca Maxime. Coming up later, some uplifting films are on tap.
But first, let's turn to the day's headlines. Well, Catholic cardinals from around the world met with Pope Benedict in Rome today. On the agenda, several high-profile topics like the sex abuse scandal and Anglicans converting to Catholicism. Well, the cardinals also talked about religious freedom just one day after the Vatican accused China of violating the rights of Catholics loyal to Rome. The separate government-recognized Catholic Church there is ordaining a new bishop without the Vatican's consent. The meetings lead up to the big event tomorrow, in which 24 men will be raised to the level of cardinal at St. Peter's Basilica. Among them will be American Archbishops Donald Wuerl and Raymond Burke. Well, as we previously reported, Pope Benedict met with the head of the Anglican Church on Thursday. Now more details are emerging about that meeting. Rome Reports has more.
Benedict XVI received the Anglican primate, Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams. He traveled to Rome upon invitation by the Vatican to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Pontifical Council for Christian Unity. The Pope spoke a few minutes with the Anglican primate. They last met a few months ago in September during the Pope's visit to the UK. During his short stay in Rome, Rowan Williams proposed the Church's focused ecumenical dialogue on Eucharistic theology, so they could all find a common ground. To achieve this, he called for religious groups to come together to seek solutions.
There are parts of my own communion and other historic communions of the Reformation, in which Eucharistic theology seems to have slipped away from a prior position. We therefore, I believe, urgently need common work on the Eucharist.
The Anglican primate said that ecumenical dialogue is the responsibility of the bishops, and one of the biggest problems is that they are unwilling to recognize each other. Before leaving, he gave appreciation for the work of the Pontifical Council for Christian Unity and asked that they keep up the good work.
Well, meantime, the Vatican confirmed today that Pope Benedict will travel to his homeland of Germany next year. It will be the first state visit there by Benedict since he became Pope. It comes at the request of German President Christian Wolff. The Vatican says the pontiff will speak to the people of Germany as a whole and not just Catholics. Benedict previously made a pastoral visit to Germany back in 2005, not long after he became Pope, to attend World Youth Day. The state visit scheduled for September of 2011. Well, the healthcare is an inalienable right. That was the message from Pope Benedict to his Council for Healthcare Ministry, which met at the Vatican today. The pontiff said it is the moral responsibility of nations to guarantee healthcare access for all people, regardless of social position or ability to pay. Benedict said the health of every person is a precious asset to society.
A new translation of the Bible will hit store shelves this year after a previous version stirred up plenty of controversy. The new international version is the best-selling edition of the Bible since it's made its debut in 1978. The 2005 update, though, did not sit well with some evangelicals and scholars. Many of them took issue with the translation's use of gender-neutral language. For example, words like mankind were replaced with non-gender-specific terms such as humankind. The new version of the NIV will do away with those changes. It is scheduled for release in the spring. A suspended Catholic priest who was once accused of stalking late-night talk show host Conan O'Brien is back behind bars, this time for allegedly harassing a Boston newscaster. Police say they arrested Father David Ajemian Thursday after he made several phone calls to a TV station in violation of a restraining order taken out by host Anthony Everett. Ajemian was accused of stalking O'Brien in 2008. He pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct in that case. Reports say the Archdiocese of Boston suspended Ajemian from his priestly duties back in 2006. And finally, some of the most famous nuns in the country will be back on TV later on this month. The Dominican Sisters of Mary, Mother of the Eucharist, appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show earlier this year. And while the episode was just so popular, the sisters confirmed this week they'll be making a return visit. The episode will air on November 23rd.
Doing well for themselves.
I remember them playing field hockey.
As do I. Well, stay tuned. There's much more currents coming up.
Coming up, talking turkey with the bishop.
We all get assigned something to do. I'm supposed to make the gravy for the macaroni, or either going to be ravioli or lasagna. I haven't decided.
Welcome back. Well, hard to believe, but in just a few days we'll all be celebrating Thanksgiving. So what are you going to be doing?
Oh, I'm actually going to go see some friends probably in Ohio, which is going to be kind of cool. It'll be a nice little, airfare is so expensive. Bus fare is not. And so I'm going to go and probably take a bus, go see some of my friends are doing a show in Ohio right now. And so I'm going to go see them and all that. Couldn't afford the fare to get to Atlanta to see my family. But,
I know, but Christmas is just around the corner for that.
Going to do that then. But.
And I'll be headed up to Boston to go eat turkey and talk turkey with them.
Right. Well, you know, it can be easy with all of this running around and everything to forget the deeper meaning of this holiday. And that's what was just part of what Bishop DiMarzio discusses in tonight's Into the Deep.
Bishop DiMarzio, I was just saying off camera that, you know, my aunt always cooks a great turkey for Thanksgiving. She and my uncle, I always look forward to that, going home to the Boston area to enjoy that. Talk to us a little bit about why you think Thanksgiving in general is really important to Americans and especially to Catholics.
Well, truly it is a national day of Thanksgiving where everyone, according to their own religious tradition, gives thanks to God for the blessings. You know, obviously the historical event is clouded a little bit of history, but it comes back to the Pilgrims. It was Thanksgiving for the first successful harvest. The whole image of this was shared with the Indians is a wonderful one. We're not sure people are questioning that, but even if it wasn't that way, it's the way it should have been. And I think it's today part of our national culture. There's a lot of things that have encroached on it, like football games and other things, but it's all part of our culture. But the key thing is that there is a family meal. People try to get together as best they can to share a family meal of Thanksgiving.
Right, really an opportunity to show gratitude and to share that. And a lot of folks are having a hard time. They might have lost a loved one, they might have lost a job, still be unemployed for a period of time. What do you say to folks like that who are still kind of struggling?
Well, we give thanks for life, and life has many turns we don't expect sometimes. So the people that are struggling, we pray for them, remember them on this day especially, because the holidays are probably the hardest time for most people to get through when everything isn't the way it should be. So we remember them on this day, I think, importantly.
Well, do you have any special plans? Do you have a ritual that you have on Thanksgiving?
Well, this year's a little different because I'm going to baptize my sixth great, this is a niece this time. So I have six great nieces and nephews, and this is time for baptism. I'm just 2 months old. And then we'll share our family meal together. We all get assigned something to do. I'm supposed to make the gravy for the macaroni, or either going to be ravioli or lasagna. I haven't decided what I can manage. And other people bring the turkey and the vegetables, so everybody gets something to bring, and then we have a family feast and more food left over than we eat, I think. But that's the ritual.
Yeah, in our family, we always have the ritual of the post-eating walk. We have to walk around the neighborhood so we can get a little bit of exercise after that. And Bishop, what will you be thanking God for this year, personally?
Well, I have a lot to be thankful for since I went successful heart surgery last year. So I'm thankful for that, and we'll continue to give thanks and for so many good things that happen in this diocese. So I think we're very fortunate.
We certainly are. We have terrific resources and folks working with us. So thank you so much, Bishop, for joining us.
You're welcome.
All of this talk about food has gotten me hungry already.
Well, I was just about to say, but it's about more than just the turkey.
I know.
Matt. This
is true. This is true. You know, as you were saying a few minutes ago, you're going to have some turkey and talk turkey on Thanksgiving. But it's really, I mean, it's about, you know, the things that you are thankful for in your life. And I actually have a friend, you know, we talk a lot, and a lot of this conversation has been about, you know, spending time with family and friends and all of that on the holiday. But I have a friend of mine whose family is actually in Texas. He's up here, and he won't be able to go home for Thanksgiving. So what he says he's going to do is, you know, either volunteer at like an animal shelter or at a food line or something like that, just to kind of make a difference on the holiday. So there's still stuff that you can do even if you're far away from family and friends.
A lot of opportunities to give back. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, stay with us.
We're going to both take it.
We'll be right back.
Just ahead, a Brooklyn filmmaker puts faith in focus.
I think it's very important to communicate to people, especially in this day and age, through filmmaking.
Well, finally tonight, this could be a big weekend for the movies with the new Harry Potter movie opening. I'm sure it'll be crazy, crazy, crazy out at the theaters. Earlier this week, though, a talented filmmaker from Brooklyn offered a different take on movie magic.
He's Joe Campo, the creative force behind Grassroots Films, which has made some acclaimed movies about faith and the human spirit, including Fishers of Men and most recently, The Human Experience. He shared some of his insight at a session of Theology on Tap.
Tonight we're going to have Theology on Tap here at the Greenhouse Cafe. We have Joe Campo. He's a filmmaker for the grassroots film company. We thought that he would be a good speaker on the topic of film in today's society. Film is a very popular medium, obviously. People go to the movies a lot, rent Netflix. People always watching movies, and we thought that he would have a good idea of why he's in the film business and why to make Catholic films.
The worst thing you can do is make a Catholic film. 2 reasons. Number one, that's not evangelization, that's self-promotion. No one wants to hear that. No one even cares about a Catholic film. People are not interested. Sometimes some of the problems we have in Catholic media is that you come out and saying you're a Catholic company, the only people who are going to watch you are Catholics, quite frankly. And one of the things we like to do at Grassroots Films is, if we're going to produce a piece, it may never say Catholic in it, but it will be Catholic. And that's called evangelization. And so we kind of step out of the box, if you will, and produce pieces that have meaning to people's lives, whether you're Catholic or not. You know? And I think that's very attractive for a lot of people today. Catholics make crappy films. Let's face it. We haven't had a good film in 40 years that the Catholic media has put out. And that's not a good thing. However, things are changing, thanks be to God. And one of the things you have to be very careful when you're producing, especially in the Catholic world, is that you don't make it cheesy. You don't make it cheap. It's good to avoid, nice people making nice films that are cheesy. And it puts a bad spin on Catholic media. I think it's very important to communicate to people, especially in this day and age, through filmmaking. It's the way to reach people today. This is how people communicate. I mean, your kids are on the computer, so why not put something good on there? And we should be doing that. It's our responsibility, all of us here, to make sure that gets done. Not just me because I'm a filmmaker, but everybody in some way, shape, or form has some responsibility towards this.
I saw The Human Experience about 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I really liked it. And I just took an interest in seeing what else Grassroots Films is doing.
I like especially the ones where it's not on the it's below the surface, and you have to look for the meaning and see the Christianity or Catholicism within the film. Yeah.
I think things are looking up compared to how they were in the last 40 years, quite frankly. Even if you look on the internet today, there's quite a few very good companies out there that are producing good Catholic and Christian films. Quite a few. And we didn't have that 20 years ago. So things are looking up.
Well, Joe Campo's latest production, The Human Experience, which you heard a little bit about there, is now out on DVD. I've actually written more about that and about Grassroots Films itself over on our blog. Just visit currentsny.net, click on Riding the Wave. A lot of great work that they're doing there.
Absolutely, and I think that it's a difficult thing to do for any filmmaker to create a film. I mean, you talk to people that have won Oscars like Steven Spielberg, and you talk to, folks like Joe Campo, and it's never an easy process. But what he's doing is unique in that he's targeting sort of a very specific kind of film that he's making, as he said, Catholic film, and it's about the human experience and the universality that we all share. Yeah, and
as he was saying, I mean, he's not going to come out and say, oh, this is expressly a Catholic film, but it's going to be Catholic. But it might not just be right there on the surface. You might have to delve a little bit into it and actually experience the movie, The Human Experience, or any of their other films, and see, what it's all about underneath what's on the surface.
This is true. Well, that is it for tonight on our little surface. Remember, we are always online at currentsny.net, and you can also find us on Facebook and on Twitter. Until next time, I'm Francesca Maxime.
And I'm Matt McClure. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night and a great weekend.
TG.